Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. I am going to ask this. If you are Haitian, how are you doing? I hope you are good. I know it's really been a whole lot happening since the debate, after the debate, where they said that Haitians eat pets, which we all know that it's not true. I mean, it looks like every day they come out also with different stories about Haitians, right? Why I am so much concerned about this is because whatever happened to Haitians also affects us, right? Why? Because you cannot differentiate who is black, like everybody's automatically black in yours, right? And the fact they are at the same time lying against them. So this woman actually came out to say that migrants can purchase weapons, right, without ID card. So who did she call? She said Haitians come to their store or somewhere also to purchase weapons with Mexican ID. But then weighing the story is not genuine because Black and Mexican, I really do not see the relationship, right? And I am going to say this, you all can actually stop with all the lies because it is no longer making sense. And you all are at the same time trying to make life difficult for Haitians. This is not okay. And the woman that actually came out to say all this lie, I mean, you should go back to school because you are such a bad liar. Let's get into this video.
Libby, you agree to be videotaped?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And what were you? What is it that you do?
So I no longer do it. I ended up leaving the job, but I used to work for a gun store in Springfield, Ohio.
And how recently was that?
This was last year. It's been within the last year.
Okay.
Now, the Russians are busy, but if you know, you know. But I digress for now. The story that Libby is about to relate can be found on this page, Mark Code J News. And understand, after reviewing a few videos on this page, there are two things I would like to point out. I don't believe this photograph is a picture of the owner of this page. I believe it's just used to facilitate the spread of partial and misinformation. And two, I think it is intentional that the owner of this page does not offer any research or source material to back up any points they raise on a so-called news page. Now, let's get back to analyzing the rest of Libby, I think that's the name, story.
What were you telling us about gun sales to folks who were undocumented?
So when I worked there, we would have about 10 to 15 Haitian men come in every day. Normally it was just one in the group that would try and purchase a firearm. Most of them did not have U.S. IDs. They had Mexican IDs. In other countries, I'm not really sure, but the most popular was Mexican.
Let's get through this first cap. She said a group of Haitians would show up, and one of them would try to buy a gun with a Mexican ID. An undocumented Haitian is somehow going to have a Mexican ID. You can't make this up, but continue.
And they would come in trying to purchase firearms, and I was told that I had to process the sales just like everybody else, like I would any other customer. And I would, and they were going through just fine, even though they weren't U.S. citizens, so I would have to put them on the do not sell list so they were not getting firearms.
Okay, and so
let me get this right. So she says she worked in a gun stores which are federally regulated, and an undocumented Haitian came in, presented a Mexican ID. She ran said ID. Everything comes back okay, and then she just elected to put them, for some reason, on a no gun purchasing list, but she didn't call any authorities. Yeah. Keep going.
these were all going through.
Yes.
And you put them on a do not sell list, and then what happened?
I was told I was not allowed to do that because it was something with the Second Amendment.
Okay. And how many firearms do you think you sold during the time you were there in that situation?
Probably 40.
First, let's address this undocumented status. When Haitians that are in Springfield fall into three groups generally: those who are Haitian Americans, they're citizens of this country and they can vote and all rights and privileges they do possess. And then there are green card holders, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. And then there are those under temporary protective status, and they have work permits and social security cards that they would need to have a Mexican ID card to present for anything. Now, first, Haitian Americans are Americans, and they would have had United States ID to purchase weapons, and they would have been allowed to because, like you said, of the Second Amendment. But we know you just did that because they were black. But moving right along, the next category is lawful permanent residents or green card holders. And anything lawful permanent residents or green card holders presented as ID to purchase a gun would have gone through because they have the right to legally purchase and own firearms in the United States, subject to the same federal, state, and local laws that everybody else is subject to. So several things here. First, if Libby believes she was forced to sell firearms to undocumented immigrants, if she was willing to put her name and likeness in a video stating that, she should have went to the authorities and filed charges because a statute of limitations has not run out since 2023. If not that, I call cap, because that means Libby and whoever is talking to Libby is intentionally trying to spread false and misleading information, and therefore I believe it is rooted in their racism and their bigotry. And lastly, they can't get 3 brain cells between the two of them to rub together and understand any of the facts that I've outlined in this video. And that also is rooted in their racism and bigotry. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section.
This is all I got from this video, and both of them looks like they need to go to the market and buy more brain cells, because I am sure their brains are working perfectly well. But the only thing I am very concerned about is the fact that they continuously use Haitians to make their propaganda. And this person that is saying this false testimony, because like she's all lying, I think there is need for her to be picked up and questioned, because this is all lies. And then if she thinks she's saying the truth, let's find out the people she sold the weapons to, because how can somebody come out like this, broad daylight, and on live or wherever she is, and she's telling all this kind of lies? It's only a baby, because I do not see how a Haitian at the same time can come to a store, a Pe0ple store, using a Mexican ID card. Like, what is wrong with you people? How do you people wake up every day to tackle a specific group of people just because of what happened some weeks ago or some days back, right? And all this, whatever rhetoric that started, was because their Trump actually came out to say that they are eating their pets and all that. From now, every angle you look around, they are talking about Haitians this, Haitian that, Haitian this. I mean, you all can really take a rest and stop all this, because if it is not racism, why would somebody come out here and spread misinformation and lies across? And I also want you all to know that why spreading all this information, some people are being stereotyped. So certain things are bound to happen to people that look like me. Why? Because very soon they are going to look like the description, because it has always been like that. I mean, they can really do better with all these lies they go around spreading, because eventually in the end, some people will be affected with all these lies. Stop all this negative false information that you all go around putting out on the internet, right? And I am also going to say this. Some people, poor education is just something people really need to take seriously. Because if you think education is expensive, why not try ignorance? Ignorance is more expensive because whatever this happened here is completely great example of ignorance, right? She thinks she's talking to kindergarten, like kids in kindergarten. Like somebody, a Haitian, will come walk into the store with whatever ID card. You end up selling that to him or her. Like you have sold over how many weapons? Like 40. And you are still moving freely. They should get her and arrest her and ask her questions because somebody can come online and making this kind of accusation. Yeah, it is a wrong one. And this shouldn't be taken lightly. Just that one thing is that something is just going to happen. Nobody talks about it. It dies off. But this is just not something that should be taken for granted. And I really hope they can stop all these lies they go around spreading. Because, I mean, people like me are no longer finding it funny because it's been from one story to another. And this is me checking up to all my brothers and sisters, Haitians in America. How are you all doing? I hope you all are still sane over what has been happening and all that. Continue to be safe, continue to be sane, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now. Kisses.